public service announcement for Ranger 3 owners. Right now on the North American version, all 4 special missions that give you prize Pokemon are available for download on the North American version, and for the European version, I was about to say all 4 of them are available too, but that's not true. The Heatran one isn't available yet. Now remember that you need a friend to play with in order to complete the Deoxys mission, but the Manaphy Egg mission, the Eruption, Heatran mission, and the Shaman mission can all be done solo, as they are not missions that take place in the past. Also note that the Giratina and Arceus missions are unavailable at this time, but you can't take those Pokemon to your Generation 4 games anyway, so it really is of minor consequence. If you want the prize Pokemon, you have from now until January 11th if you want to download the mission. Afterwards, you can do the missions at any time. You can wait 3 years if you want to wait 3 years, but they will be available for download until January 11th. And as you can see, I'm still busy making up for Kadabra's stupid mistakes, and I got asked by someone why I did not use Bronzong on my team instead of Uxie. Well, the reason is fairly simple. Uxie has... Oh, Synthesis? Well, I'm gonna pass upon it. I think Leech Seed is going to serve me better, even though I'm not going to be using it all that much, hopefully. But yeah, the thing with Bronzong is that Uxie has pretty much better stats all around, especially speed. Bronzong is just too slow to be usable in game. I would end up having to take a hit every single time I send it out, so it's really counterproductive. Even with Bronzong's awesome typing and Levitate, because I'm not crazy enough to try and go for Heat Proof in-game. Heat Proof is fairly useful competitively if you want to bluff that you got Levitate, though you lose the ability to switch into ground moves. But, effectively, Heat Proof Bronzong has no weakness, since no one's going to even think about attacking you with ground moves. But, ultimately, you're going to be found out sooner or later, because the ability to switch into ground moves is way too useful to pass up, and that's why almost 80% of Bronzongs use Levitate instead of Heat Proof. Still, I wonder why they didn't make Heat Proof into a fire immunity. I mean, it's Heat Proof, not just, you know, slightly resistant to fire. It's freaking Heat Proof. Give it an immunity. It sure as hell could use it. Otherwise, Levitate just comes off as the blatantly superior ability. I can tell you right now, Bronzong would be a whole lot harder to deal with if Heat Proof actually gave it immunity, because, as I said, almost 80% of Bronzongs use Levitate, so you can safely assume that if you see a Bronzong, it's going to have Levitate. Whereas, if Heat Proof was better, then there would be really no way to know. But, look at me again, going way off track again. What I was about to say was that Uxie, for what I wanted to do, yeah, it doesn't have the best move pool out there, but it still has just barely enough so that it can do what I want it to do, and that's why I'm going to use it over the likes of Bronzong. Now, while I'm here, I'm just going to check out what kind of dialogue Mira has. Helpful Pokemon moves like Growl and Minimize. Well, yeah, usually you're using Confusion, so I would think that move is your favorite since you use it even on freaking Bronzors. But anyway, I was thinking about, you know, what kind of team I would have if I could find an emulator that supports trade, because as we all know, there are no DS emulators that support trade right now, and in Platinum especially, there are really good Pokemon that can only be obtained through trades that I would definitely be interested in using. We got stuff like Porygon 2, Porygon Z, Scizor, Rhyperior, Electivire, all kinds of Pokemon that I would definitely consider using, but oh well, it's not like my planned team is really all that bad. But if I actually had the ability to trade, I'm not sure I would actually go all the way through the game with Torterra. I think I would probably ditch it at some point. Of course, I'm going to do so in all my playthroughs of Generation 5 games, ditching my starters, since they're that disappointing, sadly. But anyway, we're actually making some progress in the Wayward Cave now. I think after those two trainers, there's another pair somewhere in that cave, and after that, we can head for the exit. And of course, we're going to go check out the other entrance, which is available to us right off the bat in Platinum, whereas you needed Strength in order to get into it in Diamond and Pearl. But yeah, that place is really well hidden. It's under the cycling road. Thankfully, there's an NPC that hints that there's another entrance somewhere, though you still can't see it to the naked eye. You really have to feel your way around and stuff. Which leads me to today's question of the day. What do you think is the most cryptic, hidden place or thing in any video game ever? My personal opinion, well, I already LP'd it. It's that bonus inside a bonus in Oil Drum Alley in Donkey Kong Country. I mean, let's go over it, okay? Throughout the entire game, you got the first bonus that leads to the other bonus. It's like a slot machine. Yeah, you gotta match up 3 of the same thing in order to get that thing. And throughout the entire game, you're trying to get stuff like extra lives and letters and stuff. And there, in that particular place, you need to go for the single banana. Who would think to go for the single banana? It's just one freaking banana. It's 100th of an extra life. Why would anyone ever go for the banana? And even worse is the fact that you absolutely need Diddy in order to enter that bonus. So if you're with Donkey Kong only, it's not gonna work. And even there, even if you have Diddy and you know that you have to go for the single banana, that's not enough. You have to jump into the air and fall back and hug the right wall and then fall down right next to the entrance in order to enter the secret bonus. Else, you're just gonna smash into the wall and you're not gonna enter the bonus. You're just gonna do your little victory dance and you're gonna go out of the bonus without ever visiting the second one. How are we supposed to figure that out? That's a lot of stuff to figure out. I mean, the worst is obviously going for the single banana, because what would you do with a single banana? How would you know that it gives a barrel instead of a banana? I mean, you see the banana, you think you're gonna get a banana, but what you get is the barrel the banana was on instead of just the banana. So, yeah, of course, that's my personal opinion. The number one, you have to look it up on GameFAQs moment in all of gaming. So I'm really curious to see what your answer would be. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of varied ones. I even think I'm going to get a few comments about how, the entire freaking water temple requires a walkthrough in Ocarina of Time, because, I mean, this place is just so freaking confusing. It's easy to forget that key, the tower in the middle of the main room. At one point you have to raise the water in there, but then you have to go back down in a hole that you couldn't access while the water was at the lowest point, and now that it's at the middle level, it opens up, and not an underwater area, but an area that goes underneath other parts of the temple, and there you can get a small key that you're going to absolutely need in order to continue at some point. So, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a few answers that say the water temple in general, and some others that are going to say this one small key in particular. And speaking of the water temple, a little fun fact, a lot of people consider Morpha to be one of the easiest bosses in the game. The first time I played that game, I got the bejesus beaten out of me by that thing. Yeah, nowadays, now that I have a lot of experience with the game, it's sort of easy, but back then, it's really freaking kicked my ass! And same for Baronade in Jabu Jabu's Belly. I had a surprising amount of trouble beating it. Now remember, Ocarina of Time was my first Zelda game ever, so that may explain a lot, but still, getting my ass kicked by bosses that people consider to be easy, well, that just sucks. So, I believe I have beaten the last 2 trainers in this place, but unfortunately, the exit is right below us and a bit to the right. But, oh great, now we gotta make a massive detour just in order to get back to the entrance. But that's okay, I know exactly where the entrance is. Once again, before starting to record this video, I checked out the map on Bulba Garden, and I also heard that Pokémon has a few maps as well. So thanks to whoever gave me the tip, so if Bulbapedia ever failed me, that's where I would go next. So thanks for the tip. And by the way, while I was talking, I hit level 40 with Torterra in the freaking Wayward Cave. I haven't even gone through Mount Coronet yet, and I'm already at level 40. Something tells me, oh come on, I was just this close to the exit, are you kidding me? Anyway, I got the impression that we're not going to be seeing that much of Torterra between Veilstone and the Elite Four. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was level 50 by the time I reached Veilstone. I mean, level 40 in the Wayward Cave, and on the top floor to boot, I still haven't explored the bottom floor. Still have to go through parts of Route 207 that I haven't done yet, Mount Coronet, then Route 208, 209, 210, 215, and okay, there we go. We're gonna go through the exit, and I want to get tougher so I won't be such a scaredy cat. Well, infinite healing does take you a long way towards realizing that goal. Too bad it only works when we're in pairs, it seems. So, to go into the secret entrance, you gotta feel your way around. You have to try to go up at every tile, and once you're able to go up, you just charge in, and you're gonna end up there. And there doesn't seem to be anything in those rocks, so let's head down into the bottom floor, which requires the bike in order to make any progress at all. Though, you're forced to have the bike to go anywhere past Eterna, so that's kind of a moot point anyway. Anyway, I was talking about Ocarina of Time earlier, and it reminds me that every now and then I get a message or a comment asking me whether I'm going to do one or not eventually. And I remember that, remember Jamo 2000, the first guy who plugged me way back when I was finishing Ken's Labyrinth and Pokemon Red? Well, I said that I wouldn't, out of respect for the guy, I wouldn't begin an Ocarina of Time LP until he was finished with his own Ocarina of Time LP, but there's been a small problem that arose when it comes to that, and oh, a Dusk Stone! Not that I'm planning on using it, but still, it's a fairly rare item, so I find it funny that I found one just looking around and looking at those rocks. At least it pays off to look at those suspicious rocks every now and then, as we're seeing our first Gibble of what will probably be many of them, since Gibble's fairly common down there. Anyways, I said there's one problem with waiting for Jamo to finish his own LP, and it's that he uploaded an entire part in the last 15 months. So at this rate, even though he's at the entrance of Ganon's castle, I don't think he's going to be finished for another 5 years. And, of course, there are going to be more side LPs to come in the next 5 years from me, hopefully, if I don't quit before then. And it's no secret that it's a game that I've always wanted to LP, but there are still too many things I haven't figured out in terms of logistics and such. So, sadly, I'm not in a position to make any promises. So I'm gonna finish that video with a kill on this Gibble here, and next time on Pokemon Platinum, hopefully the end of this stupid cave!